Hello. Nobody's here yet, I think. Welcome to the brave new world of 2021 where we stream while vaguely sick. Uh, Ridiculous. Oh, I should probably update the stream title and then link this in Reswitched. Let me do that. Hey, Untitled. Updating the stream title right now. I don't expect this will be a super long stream, just because there is far too much to do to support 12.0.0 for Atmosphere, and also because I am kind of sick. The fact that I'm streaming also is absurd, but, you know, you do what we must. Hey! Let me link this in Reswitched. Vape Enthusiast. Okay, let's give people a few minutes to filter in. There is a new big system update today, and it is the same day that I got my second Pfizer shot, so I'm kind of feeling it. But I figure, hey Turtle. I figure that, you know, despite my being a little sick, we can still talk about what's in the update. I can do some stuff. We can get people updated. Yeah, you can give people a status update if nothing else. Hello, Kitlith, Substance, Zaki Cat. Oh man. Really don't recommend obligating yourself to updating things very quickly. And then also, if you're planning on getting the second COVID shot, schedule on a day other than a Monday. That's the real lesson here. Is that I should have known better than to schedule important life events on Mondays. I'm feeling cards. I'm feeling a little better than earlier. I've drank a bunch of water. I had soup for dinner. You know, I would say that I'm feeling a solid 5, maybe 5.5 out of 10 if I was like a 4 out of 10 earlier. But yeah, you know, there's a system update. I'm going to do stuff with the system update, and that's how it goes. I will start downloading this while people are waiting. I should have done that already, actually. Yeah, no, I trust the science. I'm happy to be vaccinated. You know, I've taken some Tylenol. I'll be fine. It'll pass. I'm thinking the atmosphere update in general will probably take me. I've said this in Reswitched and a couple other places. The issue is you're not vaping enough. Thanks, Turtle. You're exactly right. The issue is that I'm not vaping enough, and the issue is that astronomers exist and their energy haunts me. But the atmosphere update will probably take a little longer than normal because this is. I know it seems like a super minor system update, but Nintendo actually did some super breaking stuff under the hood that is problematic for Atmosphere in particular. Huh. Intriguing. Did my system update script fail? That would certainly be interesting. Maybe it failed, it looks like, but it's fine. It downloaded the stuff that I care about, so I'll worry about that later. It definitely downloaded fine on my non-VM, and I don't intend to look... fuck, I do need to look at exFAT firm, because I am going to be updating stuff... God damn it. Did it download correctly on the host? 81B. It did. Okay, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to make the ill-advised decision of doing Control-C in my host, and then Control-V. Man, what failed there? It's really weird. Maybe I'll try it one more time. And if it fails again, I will just copy the data from my host. Ill-advised, because I'm supposed to avoid too much interaction between my host and my VM. It's kind of the point of using a VM, to be honest. Anyway, I don't even know what I was talking about before that failed. Was I trying to explain why the update is going to be difficult to do? Or was I explaining something else? Ugh. Oh yeah, major breaking changes. So, goddamn. Okay, I have no idea why that's failing. But you know, whatever. We'll roll with it. And I will Control C this and Control V that. It's a lot of files. I don't know what you guys will see. Did I just crash my virtual machine? Deeply intriguing. Okay, that's fun. I think it didn't want that, so we will reopen the virtual machine. Can you guys still hear me? Yeah, whatever. I'm sure it's fine. Not the end of the world. I mean, I am using a VM. Whatever. That's very funny. Anyway, while this is relaunching, sorry, this is such a disaster. I guess I'll download it and then just copy an 8.1b. God, what a meme. Anyway, basically, the Switch uses this IPC protocol for managing IPC sessions and servers called CMIF, which is Common Message Interface Framework. And CMIF is really heavy and really code bloaty. And so Nintendo has decided, hey, you know what we want to do? We want to reduce our code size. And so they have designed this new IPC protocol, and now SM is using it. Okay, what's it gonna like go back to? I have no idea how it'll be fine. And the new protocol is super lean. It looks super minimal. I'm not done reverse engineering it, but it is definitely lighter than it was before. Man, what's my password? Is it? I think that's probably it. I'm not sure. Probably. Man, it'll be really embarrassing. No, I don't want to set up my device. Fuck you, Microsoft. Anyway. That's not a real password that I use for non. That's not a protocol. That is not a password that I use for like non this VM. So don't worry about that. But yeah, new custom protocol, much lighter, much leaner, and that's positive because like the OS will be faster because it's a lot lighter, but it means that I have to re-implement an entire new IPC framework to update Atmosphere to support 12.0.0. And that's what we call in this industry a lot of work. So I'll get it done, and I'll get it done as fast as I possibly can, but that's going to be like a couple days at minimum, it looks like. Latest. Okay, maybe it won't fail a third time. It'll fail a third time. I know in my heart it'll fail a third time. Yeah, no, definitely figure out that the password is like secure password or something like that. It's some variant on that. Hey Behemoth. Man, I wonder why it's failing to download exFAT firmware. Is this certificate one that hasn't signed up for exFAT firmware and they're like actually enforcing that now? That would be really interesting. I don't know why it's failing, but I can definitely copy just 8.1b and maybe that won't crash. 8.1b. Yeah, okay. That's fine now. That should be everything we need anyway. And I don't look at QLaunch, so I think it's just fine doing over the titles that come after 8.1.9. Yeah, it's a super fake password for this VM, so I'm not worried about it being like guessed or anything. But yeah, so this new IPC protocol is going to be super crazy work for me to do, but it's fine. I'll do it. It's actually super exciting because Nintendo is finally competing with me. I've been putting a lot of effort in to shrink the code size of Atmosphere's modules. Into here, let me tool T package 21, package 2, editors out, extract anyone. Let me do the same thing here for 11.0.0 just to demonstrate this difference. Oh, it's already out. Well, I still need to do the command because I didn't actually extract the ini whenever I did this for the last stream. So yeah, implementing this new IPC protocol is going to be the bulk of the update time. There's not a ton else that looks like it's really intensive. If I had to like put an estimation on it, I think the new IPC protocol will probably be a couple days of work. Like maybe 3 days of work is optimistic, but reasonable. And then Mesosphere is probably going to be like a day or so to update, like a day to do reverse engineering, like it's just like a 24-hour session of me writing code to update it. And nothing else looks intense. It's really just this new IPC protocol, which sucks because it sucks to have updates delayed for reasons like that. But if I do sm.kip, you can see that in 11.0.0, SM is 5,000 and change. But here in 12, it is 0x29,000. So they have managed to cut the size of their service manager module in half. So they have removed basically all of the code bloat using this new IPC protocol. It is ridiculously lean. I will load an IDA to talk a little bit about it, just to demonstrate how crazy it is. It'll be fairly simple to show. Actually, before I do that, I should address the thing that no one but me cares about, which is, hey, Michael, what about the secure monitor? Don't you care about the secure monitor? That's your favorite. And in fact, you'd be right. I do care about the secure monitor. But if we look at the package 1 binaries, they updated the date and the git commit hash. So this like header is actually really interesting and really valuable to read if you know how to read it. So this is a date. Does the binary include all symbols? Oh no, it includes no symbols. Antidote, actually. Just to be clear, there are no symbols in the modern OS. It doesn't have exports either because it's statically linked. But so this header, this is like a date string of when it was built, and then these are 4 uint32s, and this is like the hash of package 1 loader, and this is like the hash of either warm boot or package or NX bootloader, and this is the hash of the secure monitor, and these are the same. This is the git commit hash. It's like the short hash of the git commit that was used to build the relevant binary. But so these didn't change, and so I don't actually need to look at the secure monitor to know nothing is different. And it was rebuilt, and so if I look at the Mariko one, when I go to package 1 here, you can see that there are like substantially. Oh, I need to actually scroll down to the header, don't I? That was stupid of me. They changed the, I forget if this one's the secure monitor or NX bootloader, but like they didn't change package 1 loader, and I think they didn't change one of NX bootloader or the secure monitor. It might actually be warm boot too. But I like looked at this, I did a cursory inspection, and the only change is the only change here is that they added support for new DRAM IDs, and so they're probably adding more RAM that Aula will support. Separable symbols in the usual location. Yeah, I mean, symbols, we are lucky in that all games ship a copy of Nintendo SDK, like and an SDK binaries, and system modules just have the like SDK NSO, which is all exports statically linked in, and so we have this pattern matching script that identifies functions in the like SDK executable that's dynamically linked into games, and like it's just this awful gigantic regular expression matches them against functions and system modules, and so we get symbols that way. So it's not all hope lost, but you know, it's nice. It's pretty funny. Bikimith, you said no longer optional user buffers for reply and receive. I didn't see that. They are definitely still using TLS for IPC and not user buffers. Did you see them using user buffers? That wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, okay, let me just jump to main here. The way you find n and main in the system module, if you're lazy, is the like first function is this branch to this handler, and it takes in an argument to like either a thread handle or an exception context. I forget. The only one I remember is that when it's 0, we're doing first time startup. And then there's all this initialization stuff, but you just click the last function a bunch of times. Like you just click the last function over and over. And then eventually you get here, And this one is n in main. This is always main. I think like this is like n in init start or something like that. I forget. Anyway, this is abort, so we'll tag this as void no return. This is like abort. It's fine. I could import real symbols, but I don't want to go to that level of high effort right now. Old code checked for TLS usage, same in atmosphere. Now it's unconditionally. That doesn't seem right. I was still seeing like normal reply and receives, right? Like I saw it using SDK reply and receive. I'm pretty sure it's unconditional TLS, not unconditional user buffer. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, that's because the function, if I like go to atmosphere, this is not going to be a super long stream, I think, because I'm kind of sick. But if I go to SF, it'll be like HIPC. SF HIPC API should be the file that does it. Yeah, so that's because this is this function HIPC, which is SF HIPC reply impl or whatever. And the reason why it'll be unconditionally TLS is because the new protocol isn't using this wrapper or this namespace. It is like a new bespoke protocol that is super lean. And so it doesn't have this because it doesn't need it. It cut out everything that it doesn't need. But okay. This is main. You've got this thing where it's like registering services. This is where it's like creating handles. It's like creating these new objects in this like awful manager object. But that's not really the interesting thing. What's really interesting is like the new protocol. It's also very interesting that it's spawning a thread now because that is like a very, very new SM thing to do. It never did that before. But it is, everything is inlined. Everything is crazy inlined. Yeah, it is super hard-coded processing with the inlining. The new namespace is 0x23, in case it wasn't clear. 0x23 is the new IPC namespace. And this is like the processing, like main processing logic, where it is, you know, this would be the equivalent of the CMIF manager process function before, and it is doing everything in one awful inline loop. But if I like actually try to find, it was 1E23. Yeah. Okay. So like here is the command processor for SM. This is like the SM object virtual table. So previously, as far as I can tell, and I will like go over this because it's interesting. Services API. The Minish Cap is an inferior Zelda game. Just saying. Don't get me wrong. What's his name? The hat guy, Elzo, or whatever his name is. Super, super dank character. Love the talking hat. Love the talking bird hat. Great character design. Game itself sucks. No offense. Yeah. It's been forever since I played it. I think I'm just butthurt because I got locked out of the light arrows or something whenever I was playing it. So, right, this is the user interface processing function. And before there were 4 commands: register client at 0, get service handle at 1, register service at 2, unregister service at 3, and detach client at 4. And now what they seem to have done is they have taken every command ID here and they have added 0x10 to it. And they are previously, let me go to IPC marshalling actually. I hate that I Google IPC marshalling to get to this page. It's very, very silly. But before, like the first word of this IPC message, because they're just reading directly from TLS here, would be the type, and there was all this like CMIF meta logic, and now they're just treating it directly as the command ID. 0xF or 15 is now close, but this is now like being used as the command ID. The protocol is much leaner. There's no metadata. And the way that they do it now is, well, they say, okay, what does our command have? And, well, we know what our command has, and so we can statically know what the fields are with no metadata ahead of time. And so they just do a hard-coded check against, like, a U64 constant. Right here. Oh man, Black Cipher modes of operation, very funny. I mean, this is clearly auto-generated, right? So, like, I'm sure in source code this is, like, not even a C++ file. I'm sure this is, like, some IDL where they just define the command and they spew out C++. It's very efficient. This is absurdly lean compared to what they had before. Like, they do not need to do any generic processing. So it's actually very smart of them. It's just... Oh yeah, and like even the commands are getting inlined here because this is an SM command error, but it's being inlined, which is actually incredible. Oh, also they upgraded from C-Lang 9 to like C-Lang 10 or 11. I'm not sure if the new one is 10 or 11, but 11.0.0 was C-Lang 9, and now they're on C-Lang 10 or 11. But so all of this stuff is hard-coded. Well, their autogen is hard-coding stuff. And it's like invoking commands directly, and I mean, these are the same SM commands I know and love. But this is the part where it's actually bad, is this default here. I was looking at this kind of in disgust earlier. And so you might notice to yourself, well, how can they possibly update SM to use a new protocol? Because games use SM, because games need to get services. And if you change the protocol that SM uses, how do you not break every game? And well, the answer is this default right here, which they don't provide for SM Manager, and they don't provide for PGL, which is also using the new IPC interface. And here's the answer. Okay, well, what if the type we get is 5? Well, if it's 5, the only meta command that someone might... The only control command that they might send to SM, big brain here, is query pointer buffer data size. And, well, we're not using CMIF, and the new thing doesn't support pointer buffers, so we have a pointer buffer size of 0, so let's hard-code the command output that corresponds to 0 pointer buffer size. Completely hard-coded. This has to be a mem copy in source code. And, okay, so maybe we're not doing a control command, and if we're not doing a control command, we're doing a request. And, well, if we're doing a request, then... we don't need to support every command, right? Because games can only use get service and initialize. And so that's what they do. They say the only commands we need to support are get service and initialize, get service and register client, I guess is what it's called. And so, well, if the command ID is not 1 and the command ID is not 0, return an error. If it's 0, it's initialize. And so if it's initialize, return a hard-coded response. This is also definitely memcopy under the hood. And if it is get service, then they, you know, it's... This whole fucking thing is absurd. They don't do any actual parsing. They just assume it's in the correct format, and they treat the data... They don't parse the CMIF header. They just act like it's in the right place. Fuck. Yeah, no, I really wonder if games are going to start getting services via new IPC soon, right? Because this has some limits. It doesn't support pointer buffers, and it doesn't support domains. And those are really big limitations. And they can't change anything that's games used without adding shitty hack compats. So I'm thinking they'll probably convert a bunch of internal services. And Atmosphere implements mostly internal services, so this is basically like Go Fuck Yourself, Mike, the update. So that'll be fun for me. But there are, thankfully, like, they can't change file system services. Yeah, no, this isn't exploitable. It is the kind of hard coding, like, no parsing, where it's viable. Where, like... There's no hacking to be done here. It's mostly just them telling me to go fuck myself. Although I'm really impressed, because now they're competing with me in code size. That's big for them. That's very, very big for them. Can't let user input bone you if you ignore user input. Yeah, no, that is exactly correct. That is in fact the exactly precise interpretation. That would be. Yeah, no. I mean, if they include a string like "fuck you, Sayurzam" in an update, I'll have it made. That is the ultimate accomplishment for me. I would have peaked, and I don't think I can do better than that. Yeah, no, I would take that as the ultimate compliment. Um, so yeah, this Stuck Pixel, this will accept inputs that older SM would reject, and you'll get different error codes. It's not real backwards compatibility. Oh yeah, of course. If they include a string saying like "go fuck yourself," I will include a string saying "go fuck myself." That's so funny. Um, so funny. But yeah, this new protocol is going to take me like a day or two to figure out and implement. Like, it's so simple that it won't be that hard. It's just a bunch of work. So that actually knocks out a bunch of stuff on my plate. Let me go to GitHub. I should actually make an issue for this. Atmosphere X. Oh, hey, I need to sign into GitHub, don't I? I'm gonna do the thing where is it possible to reject some previously valid inputs? No, I think it should accept all previously valid inputs, I think. Okay, I'm gonna turn the screen dark and sign into GitHub. I apologize that you won't be able to see anything while I'm signing into GitHub. But you know, that is how it goes. Oh, it had my password saved. I don't even know why I bothered doing that. It literally had my password saved. Yeah, no, I didn't need to worry. It auto-completed my password. Yeah, that was overly dramatic. Let me make an issue just for tracking this stuff. It's, yeah, whatever, it's one of these. 12.0.0 supports things to do for Atmosphere to supports 12.0.0. Man, how do you do checklists in Markdown? Is it like X? Is it like this, or do I have to add a thing here? I might have to add a thing here. Oh yeah, there we go. There's engineer, new IPC protocol. There's engineer, new kernel changes. Yeah, of course my luggage password is 12345. Actually, the real joke is that I don't have luggage. I had a suitcase, but it got stolen last year, so I don't think I own any travel suitcases right now. MISC versus engineering. And then implements new IPC protocol for SM. Implements new IPC protocol. Oh, I only lost one switch. It wasn't a big deal. For PGL. Implement new kernel changes. Implement new MISC changes. Implement client support. New IPC protocol. In NebNX. Update secure monitor / Exosphere with new DRAM IDs. Update MEMMC patches to support new FS KIPs. Update NoGC patches. New FS KIPs. Okay, what else do I need to do here? Implement new kernel patches for supports. Last time I'm doing this because my stuff will be always on soon. Hey Galaxy. What else might I be missing here for things to do? Yeah, no, like the one thing that I super respect about Nintendo is their willingness to make new changes. It is really refreshing how much they are willing to break things for in the name of improvement. I admire it a lot. Although I generally admire Nintendo. They are great developers these days. Um okay, what am I missing here, people? What am I missing here? Yeah, Nikki, I was feeling a lot worse earlier. I mean, I like took Tylenol and I had a bunch of soup. Like I am feeling at like a 5 out of 10 right now, and I was definitely at like a 4 out of 10 earlier. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and feel like dog shit. But you know, it's not tomorrow yet. It is today, and while it is today, I will continue fulfilling my duty, which is to say, keeping the public updated on Atmosphere. Yeah. Um, Yeah, don't worry. I'm drinking a lot of water. I am not being a moron about my health. I mean, I'm being an idiot. I shouldn't be streaming, but I'm not being that bad. Yeah, no, my arm hurts a lot actually when I move it around. It kind of sucks, but it'll get better. These COVID symptoms from the second Pfizer shot, I'm told, are like gone within 72 hours. Yeah, no, I live in California near Los Angeles, so I'm definitely Pacific time. Maybe don't eat 60 oysters anytime soon. Yeah, joke's on you, Fox, because I know exactly the next day that I'm eating 60 oysters, and it's going to be on June 6th. I will be having 60 plus oysters on June 6th, and I am so looking forward to it. Um, Yeah, I don't feel the need to speculate much more about Alla. I mean, we know it's a Switch Pro. We know they're working on it. We know they're doing a new dock. We know they're doing 4K. Like, what is there to say, right? Like, we know about it. I feel completely comfortable in my knowledge about Alla. Um. Anyway, ignoring my love for oysters and other shit. Um. I'm more easily distracted right now than usual. Seriously, is there anything that I'm missing here that other people might like know that I need to do for new updates? And obviously update the version numbers and other minor changes. Um, like, is there anything I'm missing, or can I create this issue? Because I would like to not have to like add a bunch of stuff to this issue later. God damn it. Patch notes. Ugh, system update history. Nintendo. There we go. Oh yeah, no, they're definitely they're not doing more of that stuff. Oh wow, they didn't even include the meme string. God, Nintendo, you wound me. Um, super wound me. Several issues were fixed. Yeah, there we go. There's the meme. Okay, we got that. Um, so fucking dumb. I think we're probably good. No, Miss On. Let me assure you, this is something to do in the future in the past tense. Okay. Okay. I think this is probably a pretty complete list. Um, the reverse engineering stuff I don't want to do while my brain is foggier than usual. Um, like, I am not in a completely 100% hot brain space right now with this Pfizer shit affecting me. So I don't want to do new reverse engineering work. That's not really my speed, and so that kind of blocks off a lot of this implementation stuff. And this depends on this. This is easy, I think, and I could do this if we want. But something that I definitely could do are like these things. I might do these. I'm thinking, uh, and then call it a night for the stream because I'm sick and I shouldn't stream for like several hours while I am sick. That is like dog water intelligence tier. Um, And I would like to think that I'm not, like drinking dog water levels of intellect. Uh, hey, Tenebrio. Um, are the new DRM IDs required for supporting current Switch units? No, they're not really. They're not really required for supporting current Switch units. But I like to do all of the stuff that Nintendo does anyway. And to get you up to speed, Tenebrio, this update is really interesting because it seems super minor to users. You're talking like it's the finest water. Yeah, this update is really minor for users, but they implemented a new IPC protocol, and the old one was super heavy and super generic. It had lots of support for things and was complicated to parse. And the new one, super light on the parsing. Like, this really cool thing is that it's so much leaner that you can just see from the code size. Their old service manager. Oh wait, I'm looking at stuff. Okay. The old service manager had a code size of like 0x60,000 roughly, and the new one is 0x29,000. And all of that is code bloat from the old parser just being thrown out wholesale. It's super lean, it's super efficient. I like it a lot, I think, from what I've seen of it so far, but it also means that I need to reverse engineer and implement a new IPC protocol, and that's going to take me a few days. And I am also like sick sick adjacent. It's not sickness, is it? I'm just feeling bad because I got my second Pfizer shot earlier today. Yeah, IPC is interprocess communication. It is the mechanism by which different processes. It's the mechanism by which different processes interact. See, you say that I will lose, but, and this is important, the current SM size in 0.18.0 is 172 kilobytes. It's 400 times 172. Oh wow, they're 2,000 smaller than me. Yeah, no, I can't save 0x2000 and I can't save that size and implement both protocols. If they were a little bigger than me, I could probably do it, but no, I will be bigger than an SM, but that's fine. I can live with being a little bigger since I have to support backwards compatibility stuff and they don't. Yeah, I guess I'm sick. So I'm thinking that I will do this stuff that's not like brain heavy work. This is like easy work. I will answer anyone's questions about the new updates, and then we'll call it a night. I can't stream for that long just because, I've taken a Tylenol and like had soup and like I'm drinking water to be able to do this in the first place. I apologize. It would be cool, actually. It would be cool to stream like some of the new IPC protocol work. Right? Like this actually seems like a really good thing for me to stream my work on. Right? It's interesting. It's self-contained. It'll be nice for people to see what I'm up to, and so I might try to stream that later in the week, depending on how I'm progressing. Although I'm sure that I'll be better from this Pfizer stuff within like a couple of days. Yeah, not everything uses the new protocol. So far, it's only 2 modules that are using the new protocol. But I'm kind of thinking this is a test run for them, and they'll make other stuff use it in the future because not everything can use it, because in it being so lean, it loses a couple features that the older protocol had. But for the stuff that doesn't need those features, I think that they will switch it over the next like 6 months to a year. That would make a lot of sense, I think. But yeah, okay. So of these things, what would we like to see me do? It doesn't matter to me which of these things I do. If you extend their fake CMIF hack to cover the other commands too, you could probably match their SM size. Huh. Huh. That is really clever. That is really, really exceptionally clever. I wonder, Because right now, all homebrew that uses register service will need a recompilation. I wonder how lean I could get a hack like that. Right? Like, I just say, fuck it. I will fail on invalid input. Invalid input doesn't matter. The same way they're saying that. Huh. That is a really good idea, and I hadn't actually thought about doing that. But I bet I could. Because we have code size advantages. Oh yeah, here, Tenebria, I'll show you. It's so silly. So this is their command processor. Previously, like, they have commands as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what they've done is the first U16 of an IPC message was previously like this meta tag for CMIF to determine how to parse it. And instead, they are now treating the first 0x16 in TLS as the command ID directly. And they've added 16 to all command IDs to avoid any overlap. And so now, instead of doing like complicated header parsing and instead of parsing metadata, they're like, well, we know what the kernel level metadata is for our commands. And so that's, at the end of the day, just a U64. So let's auto-generate the U64 we expect and do a hard-coded check against it. And then they do 0 additional parsing. They hard-code the kernel-level metadata and deserialize very directly without any further checks. So that's the new super lean stuff. It's way faster, way cheaper in terms of code size, very efficient. But they still... The problem is that games use SM. Games need to get access to services, right? Like, you can't recompile every game, and so you need games to be able to get service handles. Yes, the simplicity is more secure. And so, to support that, they say, well, what is the minimum we can do to not break games? And, well, games can't register services, and games can't unregister services, so we can actually drop support for these 3 commands entirely. So we only need to support these. And taking that a step further, so the first U16 is going to be this tag, this type. And if the tag is 5, well, the only commands they support, the only control commands, the like CMIF protocol metadata commands, is that they supported was query pointer buffer size. And the new protocol doesn't support pointer buffers. So they can get away with just saying, well, our pointer buffer size is 0, and they return a hard-coded response. The only way to get this kind of assembly here is going to be for this to be a mem copy on some level. Like, this is just them mem copying the output. And also they're like writing the U16, oh yeah, our size is 0. This does not prevent CFW. This is just them implementing a linear protocol that's a huge pain in my ass. And then, well, they know what the headers look like for the 2 commands that they support, get register client, get service, and so they don't parse the CMIF header at all. They say, okay, well, we're gonna, like, receive stuff, and, this is like them copying the IPC TLS to a backup in case they need to do a deferral, which is something that only SM supports. It's dumb. But if the command is not 1 and it's not 0, we don't support it. Fuck you. If it's 0, it's initialized client, and that takes no input or output, so return a hard-coded response. No big deal. And if the command ID is 1, they're getting a service handle, and so rather than parse the CMIF header, they just do this super, super hard-coded hack to get it to work, where they don't actually parse it. They just, deserialize it directly without checking. Which is, absurd, but what are you going to do at the end of the day? It's very lean, it's hard-coded, it rejects, or it accepts a lot of inputs that would have been invalid before. It obviously accepts all valid inputs, but it's a hack. And the idea of supporting all of the old commands via this hack is really interesting, actually. Hello. I don't have the IDB for the 3DS ARM9 kernel that used to be for Atmosphere 3DS. I would have to redo that if I wanted to do that. And I do want to do that eventually. Yeah. Also, the kernel has huge changes. And the kernel is going to be like a huge pain in my ass. Because the kernel changes... it's so annoying. The kernel is now compiled with ceiling 10 or 11 instead of ceiling 9, and one of the changes in ceiling 10 or 11 is that it's so irritating. The way stack frames have been set up is different. Like they now push registers in a different order, and they now do like base pointer relative loads instead of stack pointer relative loads. Which like there's no functional difference, but it means that every function in bindiff is reporting changes, and so I'm going to have to like go through 1,500 functions by hand, and that's kind of gonna suck, I expect. But you know, I'll deal with it. I deal with it always. It's my job to deal with it. But like if I open up the kernel, just to give a sense for like the level of bullshit that I'm having to deal with, if I load the kernel in, the first thing that I do when I like deal with the kernel, GitHub. I don't actually want to reveal my private repos, but siresm/kernel scripts, I think is what it's called. Yeah. Let me just clone this locally. Documents, git clone. No, I can't think of a good automated way to do the difference, right? Like normally I've been using bindiff, and bindiff works really, really well, but the compiler upgrade has broken bindiff effectively because everything reports changes, right? Like I would say that it takes me 2.5 days of work to do a full kernel difference normally, and it took me like 4 hours with bindiff. And the compiler upgrade means everything is different, and bindiff will be a lot slower. I think I'll still use bindiff, and I think bindiff will probably take me it'll probably take me on the order of like a day rather than like more days, but it's just gonna be a lot of work. It's gonna be a grind. That's okay though. You know, we do what we do because we love it. It's what I've signed up for. Okay, kernel scripts. Like the very first thing that I do is I run my SVC table script, which automatically labels like 500 to 600 of the 1,600 functions in the kernel. And so when I ran that earlier, it's like, this is just absurd. It's actually a really interesting change. I mean, don't get me wrong. But, you know, I go to script commands, I go to Python, I paste it in. And it gives me an assertion error saying that it, like, on line 171, which is saying that it failed to find the SVC tables. And I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. So, you know, you go to 8006 OC100, which is the interrupt handler for like an ARM64 synchronous exception. You say, okay, well, they have to handle system calls in here. So that can't be so different, and you know this is going to be a system call handler, and you know there's all the usual checks. You know this is where they're checking that they are like allowed to do stuff. Although actually, is this might be the exception handler? Oh, yeah, this is the exception handler. Man, which one is the system call handler? It's in here somewhere, but it might be one of these functions instead. Is it this one? Nope. Is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, okay. So. See this comparison to 0xco? It's because they expanded the system call tables to allow for 64 more entries. So there's now a maximum system call ID of 191 instead of 127. And so like this script, I mean I did this earlier, but it's easy enough work. I don't mind duplicating it. You know, I have to do for 0xco, for 0xco, 0xco times 8. Like, it's all this minor stuff that they've broken, but it's breaking a lot of my scripts because, you know, I wrote them assuming that these things wouldn't change. Script commands, and then I run this, and there we go. Now it finds them. This unknown SVC, I just haven't updated the script for these. No, it'll look like they did, but they added these SVCs in 11, and they're not implemented on retail. Here, if I go to, like, the table, and I see this... you can derive some things about for the like deserialization functions. You can derive some things about the arguments, which I've done elsewhere. Like you can, they auto generate this, and you can derive some of the arguments from it. But the actual implementations are move. This is just return SVC result not implemented. So I've kind of inferred that they are working on a new console that's going to use the same kernel from this, and maybe like the new console needs these SVCs. That's like the sane thing to infer from this, since the new hardware, like the new Switch hardware, ALA that they're working on uses the same kernel. So this is not for ALA. These new SVCs are either they're just porting their kernel to new boards that need new system calls for shits and giggles, which if I was them, I would do that. That's hilarious. I've been porting their kernel to new shit for shits and giggles. I've been running their kernel on like Raspberry Pi for shits and giggles. But somehow I think Nintendo is a company that needs to pay engineers for their time instead of doing things because they're memes and they amuse themselves. These SVCs are probably for new hardware or a new console that's going to be using the same kernel and underlying OS. I mean, maybe they're just like, hey, you love our kernel, you're a kernel engineer. Do stuff that interests you, make it more portable, port it to new boards, we support you, do fucking whatever. Yeah, no, they really do work in mysterious ways. I mean, it's, I love them. I have like the weirdest parasocial relationship with Nintendo at this point. But, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love them. They are the best corporate entity that I interact with regularly as a hacker that I could ask for. But okay, that aside, like, I don't want to do all of the reverse engineering stuff or any of the implementation stuff just because I don't feel so good. Yeah, no, they do such novel operating system stuff that nobody else is doing. I love it. It is so interesting from a design perspective, and so interesting to get to compare and contrast it to the other operating systems that I'm familiar with. I've looked at some other interesting microkernels that I can't really talk about, and the other microkernels are really, really cool. But Nintendo's kernel is unique even in the other microkernels that I've looked at. It totally ditches stuff like from Unix that other microkernels try to provide. And Nintendo going fuck POSIX, fuck Unix. We're gonna make our own operating system paradigm with like blackjack and hookers is phenomenal. I admire them for it. Did you ever get it running on iPhone? I've done some work for that. I like have it kind of booting on Apple Silicon stuff. But part of the problem with the iPhone, like, it's easier on the M1. Part of the thing that's really cool about part of the thing that's really hard, about porting it to the iPhone is the iPhone doesn't support 4K pages. The iPhone only supports 64K big pages, and Nintendo's kernel really assumes 4K pages. Right? Like, I could probably, with like a month dedicated to it, a month is an exaggeration, with a week dedicated to it, where I wasn't working on other stuff, I could add support for 64K granule, but it'll be tricky whenever I try to get it on an iPhone, which I'm going to do because I want to run this operating system on my iPhone. That's hilarious. And yeah, no, I super recommend writing basic microkernels to learn about this stuff. Definitely shoot me a message outside of the stream if you're interested in microkernel advice and tips, because microkernels have kind of, become my passion over the last N years. You definitely know how to contact me, Tenebrio. I super recommend it. But yeah, okay. Of these things, Dark Souls of kernels. This is very funny, actually. This is like no work at all and super boring. So of these, what seems like it might be the most interesting to people? I will do any of these that you guys want. And I'm thinking I will take care of these in whatever order people would like me to take care of them in. And then I'm gonna go get some fucking sleep because, wow, I was not expecting the second Pfizer shot to hit me this hard. The first one was not bad at all. The first one, like, I had a sore arm for like a day and like no other symptoms, and it was whatever. But like within like 2 or 3 hours of getting the second shot, I was wrecked. And yeah, I agree, Antidote. Their kernel is super novel. I love it. It is, I spent like 6 months of my life re-implementing their kernel. I love their kernel, so you're preaching to the choir. But yeah, okay. If nobody wants to provide me input for these, we will do the classic random choice generator. Yeah, okay. Thanks. Let's copy these. What order are we gonna do these in? Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Random choice. Okay, we are going to update the MUMC patches. We'll do that first. Thank you, random choice selector. And then we will update the no GC patches. And then we'll update the kernel patches. I'm kind of suspicious because this just returns them in the same order that I typed them. So, I mean, random is random. I will trust that TextFixer... I will trust that textfixer.org is not lying, textfixer.com is not lying to me about its random choice protocol. I will trust. That's funny though. Also very funny. You know, I've like Googled Tegra X1 PDF. So since I did that, I assume this is because I did this on stream a bunch of times. It has like been CND'd, and you can no longer Google Tegra X1 PDF. The fact that this got CND'd after my streams is so funny. Like, there's some chance that, no, it was 33 and 33. That was a 1 in 9 chance, right? Because this was still included as a possibility. But, like, super funny. Ah, yes, Misan. I also vape. I recommend reading Chili in the Chocolate Factory. It's a fantastic work of fan fiction. Yeah, I mean, technically the Tegra X1 PDF is under some NVIDIA, you know, you need to, like, create an account on our developer portal. It's not under NDA or anything. Like, you just need to create an account on the NVIDIA developer portal. Like, if I wanted to get into it, here NVIDIA, watch this. NVIDIA developer bug me not. Developer.nvidia.com passwords. Oh yeah, there we go. 15 days old. Thank you. Let's get this open. Actually, NVIDIA download portal. Or even better, Tegra X1 PDF NVIDIA. There's the white paper, which is interesting. Jetson Download Center. Here we are. Yeah, account. Login. Yeah, my email is whatever this is. This isn't an email address. Is there like a space here? Oh yeah, okay. Next. Wait, is it like not even gonna ask me for my password? He's like, oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Sign with NVIDIA. Oh yeah, NVIDIA will kill this account, but whatever, it's worth it. Doing this on stream is such a good meme that I can't not do it. Right, like, this is one of those things that you just have to do. When you're streaming. God, each image containing a truck. Am I an idiot? This is a truck. Fuck me. Is this a truck or a bus? Am I not a person? Okay, sure. Log in. Incorrect email address or password. Oh, are there spaces or something? Probably there are spaces. File new. Yeah, there are spaces. That's dumb. Okay. I am human. Ah, fuck. I might have to do this again. Shit. I'm so bad at identifying trucks. That's a truck. Is that a truck or a bus? The fuck, that's a truck. Is that a truck? Maybe. No, okay. This is a truck. This is a truck. Fuck, is that a truck? I don't know. Yeah, whatever, probably good enough. Try again. Okay, nope. Okay, third try. That looks like a fire truck. That looks like a truck. I'm having a lot of trouble with this, I'm being honest. That might be a truck, but I think it's these three. Damn. Have they already patched this account? Ah. Damn. Okay. What about a different one? Do I really want to spend time on this? I do. It's funny enough that I really do. Okay, what about Borgia? 123, 123, 123. Robot confirmed. I know, right? Okay. Let's go. I believe in this one. Fuck, I need to identify more trucks. That's probably a truck. That looks like a truck. That's a truck. I feel like that must be a truck. But would there really be 5 truck images? Ah, okay, there we go. Damn. Okay, well, I give up on this. It would have been really funny. But you know what? It's fine. We accept the fact that A, I'm really bad at trucks, and B, Nvidia has already patched that 15-day-old bug me not account. Oh well, it would have been great. Sorry for the digression. Again, I'm not my full self right now with the Pfizer vaccine. But okay, let's do these in order since that is what textfixer.com has told me is the random way to do this. Okay. So the first thing to do is to get the relevant file system kips open in IDA. And so to do that, let's documents, might be an MEMC. Yeah, here's FS11. Yeah, I mean, linear order is the definition of random. But I trust textfixer.com. Textfixer.com wouldn't lie to me, I think, probably. I don't actually know that, but I choose to believe that the developer behind textfixer.com is a kindred spirit of mine. ROM NX out. Okay. Yeah, no, it was actually really, really interesting, right? Like, because for the first few hours after I got my vaccine, it was totally normal. And then I started seeing this text hovering in the lower right form of my vision, and that was really spooky. Because, like, what does it possibly mean that the universe wants me to activate Windows? Right? Like, it's scary. But, you know, I'll roll with it. I will eventually figure out what it means to activate Windows, and I will just deal with that text in the lower right corner of my vision for forever. Alright, Maliko. I am the developer behind the custom firmware for the Nintendo Switch. And Nintendo just released a new system update that has a bunch of shit broken, and so I need to update my stuff to support it, and that is what I'm doing right now. This stuff I'll take care of later. You run Linux. Have you considered running Windows instead? It's the superior operating system for development. All real coders use Windows. The kernel stuff I'm going to do off stream because I don't want to do the kernel stuff on stream. Bug me not Microsoft account activate your 5G face. Fuck, it's a good joke. And the reverse engineering, I think I'll probably do off stream because I need to like talk to Finks about design thoughts if this is going to end up in LibNX. But I think that this implementing the new IPC protocol for SM, that could actually be really good stream content. So I might try to do that on stream. That would be cool. I think I'll plan very tentatively on making an effort to do that. Like I might not do the whole thing on stream, but I'll definitely give it a shot, assuming that I feel better in a couple days. But okay, let's get this open. Mark this as code. MEMC first. Okay. I think that we've already like checked out the right branch here. Get status. I like made a branch 12 support. Great, I did. Okay. And so updating the MEMC patches is always. Why is atmosphere French? Complicated question. But the real answer is that of the like 3 people who were doing serious work on the like most important exploits, when I first did this, it was me, Motizazer, and TuxSH working together a lot of the time. And Motizazer and TuxSH are both French nationals. Sorry to Motizazer and TuxSH if you don't want me to say that you're French nationals, but I'm pretty sure that's also public knowledge at this point. And you know, when I was like doing the like trust zone exploit for the Switch, I was like, you know, it would be really nice since it was me and you two guys to like give it a French name, to, you know, in recognition of the fact that 2/3 of the people working on this are French. And then I got a lot of like, why the fuck is this a French name? Because the first exploit was called Jamais Vu. And you know, like, if you haven't noticed from the I vape joke, I am the kind of person who doubles down hard on from the June 15th thing. I double down hard on jokes because I think there is very little more entertaining and very little funnier than saying stupid shit for no reason other than to make noise and no reason other than to say it. I love stupid jokes. And the French thing is just like, it's just a meme at this point. Right? Like, oh yeah, it's like he turned himself into a pickle. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. But I love that kind of humor where you just hammer something in so far past the point of it being funny that it becomes hilarious. I'm born in America. I am white. I have never spent I've lived in California my whole life, and I don't really intend to ever leave. I am white. I am like vaguely Jewish, but I am not anything other than Californian. I speak English and Mandarin Chinese because I took 7 years of Mandarin Chinese in schooling. But you know, I am not French. I don't actually speak any French. The fact that I don't speak French makes it all so much funnier. Anyway, back to like actually doing the thing I said I was gonna do. I'm sorry that I'm so easily distracted right now. I'm not usually this easily distracted. Yeah, I keep them at, it'll be an MEMMC actually. I will consider doing a stream in Chinese at some point. That would be pretty funny. But not anytime soon, I think. Yeah, let's copy paste this, and this will become 1200. Hello. And MMC is easy to update most of the time, right? Because we do underscore 1100. We replace it with underscore 1200, and that's that. And then I need to actually do all of these. I need to update all of the offsets. But this is actually pretty easy, all said and done. Right, because I can mostly just go here, like this is in the 11.10 kip, I just go to 7.0 here, and I'll like find the relevant function. I sometimes have like a way of doing this that's convenient, but again, my brain's kind of foggy at the moment, so we'll do our best, and it'll go fine. What is the like good way to find this? There's like some really good way to find this, and I never remember what it is. But I think there's some return code that I can search for, like in the stuff that uses this. It's like something similarly inane. It's like usually right above it too, from what I'm remembering. I could search for like a relative offset, but that's kind of boring. If I like go here, right, because this is eventually going to call into some function. How do I want to do this? Right, this is gonna be like a lock function. Do you have any item plugin to recommend? I use a bindiff for diffing, and I use a friend. A friend is awesome. A friend basically, this is just for turning a bunch of like, you know, coprocessor registers in IDA into coprocessor registers into like human readable names. It's really nice. I recommend it if you do ARM64 stuff. This is a board, I guess, so this will be the real thing. This is gonna be some getter. Oh right, this is gonna be calling virtual functions, isn't it? That's annoying, actually. Okay, what is calling this? What is calling this? All right, 13B 1002. Okay, that's searchable probably. So let's just search for that. 12. It's probably searchable. Will AS19 be now or not yet? AS19 will take more time than usual. More time than usual because they changed so much stuff, and it's going to be a lot of work for me. It'll be fine. I'll support it, but it'll take a little more time than usual. So be aware of that. No. Okay, well it looks like we're actually getting a lot of matches for this error code, which is annoying. Oh, no, this is it, definitely. I think. No. Well, this looks unique. I'll search for that too. That constant looks unlikely to be used elsewhere. Okay, we're also seeing a lot of this, to be honest. You know, I wish that I like remembered how I do this the normal way, but we're definitely close to what I'm thinking. Yeah, no, I don't usually have an issue with virtual calls. Okay, how do I want to do this though? Like actually, there needs to be a less stupid way of doing this. So I don't know. Oh wait, I'm being so dumb, right? Like these are accessors. Yeah, no, Eric Malgo, I don't do piracy stuff, so I have no comment on that, and I would suggest do not do piracy stuff. What I should be doing is I should be using these SDMMC wrappers, because they are a lot simpler to find. If I go to 710 here, there'll be like actually this huge thing. It'll be much easier to locate. And move W5 1 and then branch to X8 is going to be consistent. It'll be fine. Yeah, it's well, actually this isn't that weird for my stream content, to be honest. But you know, I'm a little sick right now, and this update is also particularly a lot, so it'll be fine. Yeah, there we go. That's the SDMC right wrapper. Awesome. That seems positive. Wait, is that the right thing? No, that's not the right function. So we will find it. Nope. Nope. It should be X30, I think. Man, are there really that many virtual functions that take take in 1 as their 5th argument? That's actually vaguely surprising. Here we go. This is it. Okay. Yeah. This is pretty normal reverse engineering. There'll be nothing like super wild, I think. Okay, yeah, here we go. Also, I should make abort no returns. That stuff isn't weird. Okay, now there we go. This is the SDMMC write wrapper, which is great. Or the read wrapper, rather, I think. Is it? Yeah, okay. So what is the opposite of this? It is 15970. Great. And then the right wrapper will be like the next one, I think. It should be anyway. 15970, 15830. Yep. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the reverse engineering work is being skipped just because I have done so much of this before. And okay, here we had 156090 for 2. Here it's 154 FDO. 154 FDO, and the SD card accessor before was F40, and that's 1, so that'll be 156 TEO now. And this will be 1500 FO, whereas now it will be 15500, I think. Yep. Cool. Okay, so that's these updated, and then runtime link wrapper. I think it'll hopefully. Fuck, there'll be compiler changes. That's so annoying. Sorry, I'm being whiny. I shouldn't be whiny. I should know better. I am an adult. I promise. Oh, did they actually? Oh, there's no change here. That's nice. I hate doing the RTLD stuff because it requires me to do like a really annoying math calculation for a branch target. Awesome. Okay, that's very positive that I don't have to do anything there. And then this set clock reset rate function is like really annoying, but won't be that bad because it has this unique error code ACO, which is, you know, pretty readily findable. It's used for like 2 functions, and I want the one that has like the certain vtable offset being used. ACO. Yeah, but this is 0x20, so let's, there we go. There we go, yeah. This is the right function. It's 14F CCO on this one. And then lock mutex and unlock mutex. Yeah, they're like always sequential, and they're usually easy to find, and I think they were like called earlier even. We're gonna be an idiot here. 7, we're just gonna go to the function just to do it the easy way. Right, because I can just find this like system coprocessor register read and search for it. Yeah, okay, this is a lock. 29350. And then unlock is always the next function. So it's 293AO. Just to check that, yeah, that's unlock. 293AO. Okay. And I need to get the open and the close wrappers. And so let's do that. 7100. Or just 2 O's for this. Oh right, these are functions that like use these, so I can get them by xref actually, which is nice. Hey toy tester. Okay, so how do I want to do this by xref? 14B840 is 14B840 is like the 5th one down. So really advanced stuff, guys. The 5th one down. Looks like that's the V table, offset 0x20, offset 0x20. Great. I also really want to know what they do in Lotus firmware changes for, but I don't have the Lotus firmware key, so, you know, I don't get to know. Which sucks, but it's what it is. And then BFO, I think it'll just be the next one, right? It'll just be this one. It'll be function 28. That should be right. Yeah, 28. What do you think of SXOS? I mean, Gateway are code thieves. I mean, they're not very impressive. Like, fuck them. Right? Like, I don't think much of it, right? Like, I don't like the guys who steal my code and make it, and I am not impressed by their piracy stuff. Like, fuck them. Okay, so I need to find this one, which is annoying, and then these, which aren't so bad, and then all of this data. So let's go to this in 11. 7100 here. All right, 3 O's for a 5-digit. To get in contact with Nintendo. It is just kind of something that happens when you do enough hacking stuff. Let me see. How do I want to locate this? How do I want to locate this? All right, because functionally I'm knocking out the there's nothing really to talk about there. How do I want to do this? I think he's commenting on the fact that I have like a weird parasocial relationship with Nintendo, which is just a result from my working on a custom firmware and like playing this cat and mouse game with them over years. But okay, this initialization is fundamentally going to come from them calling like setup device address space system calls. So where is that in here? Is it in here that they do it? Yeah, it's got to be in here that they do it. Actually, fuck, I don't even want to look for this. Let me just go to the SVC page. SVC. It'll be device address space. I think it's, I forget if it's create or detach, but it's got to be create for this. SVC. X56. Yes, this is create device address space, and it's like called by this function, which is called here, which is called here. Oh, is it attached device address space that I care about? It must be attached device address space. Okay. Right, because they have one device address space that they share between all of the things. Yeah, it'll be this one then. Okay, here. Yeah, it was in the function I was looking at. Classic. It's literally this. But so that means I can do the same thing here. Right. Yeah, search for the relevant system call. Yeah, I was already past it, I guess. And then this is function. It's called here. It's called here, and we're back here. And then only one xref. Only one xref. And then the one that I actually do is like this one, where it's calling it with 1, which is the SD card. So is that still here? Okay, great. I think we found our location. It was 27. What was it before? 273b4. So that's the branch to the initialization function. So now it's 27244. Okay, and that leaves these and these. I think I've updated everything else. I think. If you are in the Reswitch Discord instead of 2, I would go to the pound Hackenall channel, and the pound Hackenall channel is explicitly for non-Switch related hacking. So go for it, and you'll get questions answered there. People are friendly. Okay, Nintendo paths. Yeah. This one's easy though, because I just do Nintendo. Nintendo. Here we go, here's one. 6C. Let me just verify that it's the same. 71000 69044 maybe? Or 6D944? Yeah, okay. 69. 6D944. 34. Yeah, okay. That's the same stuff. I think that MaxW is a script for this, but I don't actually use his script, so whatever. D44 is the Nintendo string. And here it is 6E810. And it's still 3 and 4. What is this photo you linked? I've seen this before. It's a classic. Yeah. There's that one. Yeah, it's Sealang, NW player. The people at Sealang might tell you that it is Clang, but let me assure you, as someone who knows more than the people who work on Sealang, it's Sealang. And yeah, it's not hashtagged, right? Because it's not Twitter. It's a different thing. Interesting. Is this one different? It looks like it might be different, actually. This looks like it's X4 instead of X3. Because this one was still X3, and it was, still just, at +4. But if I, go here to 80708, G, 71000 here. Yeah, this was X3 before. That's interesting. Because this is clearly the same thing here. Or is it even? No, it's not. Neat. That's very neat. A1254, and this is X4. Okay, and then are there any other references? Yeah, okay, there's that. There's X4. That's a +4, and that's interesting. Interesting that that function has changed so much. Yeah, I mean, the technical thing is Octothorpe. Chaos TA646 asks, how do you pronounce your name, sires? And it is a sire. It is sires M. You can insert an apostrophe there. Like it is theoretically sires M, but most things do not allow you to put an apostrophe in usernames. So we're sires M. Okay, I think these are all updated now. And then I just need to do these, and these are kind of annoying, but there is the init array trick, wherein I 7000b. Yeah, and there's this initialization function which initializes one of them or something. Right, because the initialization functions have to touch the actual hardware registers. Screw them. How often do you mess up copy-pasting hex values? Not that often. It happens. It's not a common mistake. It does happen, though. It definitely happens. And then if I go to init array here. It's interesting that this one found the 200 one first. Right? This should have 3 xrefs. Huh. Function order changed, I guess. But that doesn't really matter, right? Because we know it's the same function because it is this. Yeah, people mispronounce my name surprisingly often. Okay, the SD mutex. I don't remember which one of these is SD. 8238. I'll just look for the thing that uses that. I think 600 is like the game card, maybe. I don't fucking remember. Oh no, are we actually at the right one? 8323E8. Okay, this actually looks like it's NAND if it's 82D or E2D. So let's go to, maybe it's 200 actually that I think is the SD card. Oh, is it zero? Is it all zeros? I could totally be wrong about that. Ren wants to ask, hi, I want to ask a question of Teammate 2. How will the video and audio server work, and how is it different from SysDVR? This video audio server will work however Nintendo does it. I mean, there's a system module that is constantly querying GRC for video, constantly querying audio for audio, and it will stream them over host target connection sockets. And you'll like use the Starlink app that I'm working on to access it and like save it or whatever, or stream it. I'm really looking forward to Teammate 2 being done. I think the output you'll get will be very similar to SysDVR, but it won't be compatible with SysDVR. It won't be that different in terms of the functionality available to you, I expect. 832 3E8. Yeah, it's definitely in here. 3E7. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. This is initialized mutex right here. Okay. If I go and find the one that's using all zeros. There we go. That's the SD mutex. 83D3E8. Oh, great. Okay. And then the NAND mutex, I think the NAND stuff was, fuck, do I even remember what the NAND stuff was? Right, it was 600. Man, I'm struggling tonight. Just to check that, the NAND mutex is E2D338 and 11, and it is 36768 here. And the active partition is the one thing that gets written like with 3 here. 8D378. And so what is it in 12? It is 38788. Okay, and then I still need to find the dash handle, but then we're done. I need to find the dash handle. I need to do the same thing for the exFAT firmware. But the exFAT firmware will go a lot faster because it's had like the same code offsets for everything for the last several system revisions. Okay, so this dash handle, I'll like go to 7100 here. I mean, I guess this will have to be where this is actually like a time when I would do the exref to that SVC, right? Because it has to have only one call because it only creates one dash. Yeah, see, I can just do that. And so we'll do the same thing here. 56. We'll exref up a couple of times. These are like NNDD functions. 20 DBO. Oh yeah, the compiler upgrade could definitely fuck me, and that would be annoying. But you know, we have just completed updating this for. We've just completed updating this for 12, and exFAT always goes faster just because it's so similar. Okay, then let's clone this as 1200 and 1200 exFAT. I assume the video server will be able to capture every game, even Q launch. I don't know if it'll be able to capture Q launch. I am going to implement a thing that allows you to do video override in NACP. I like know how I want to do that at this point. And so you will be able to edit a config file for every game to enable video capture for it when TMA2 is ready. I'm planning on adding that, and then you'll be able to capture every game, because I want you to be able to capture every game. I've reasoned out how I want to do this at this point. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it didn't capture any applets. 1200 exFAT. Do you think Sublino is the firmware the new system will launch with? Are we expecting more revisions? I'm always expecting more revisions. Yeah, I don't think stuff's that ready, you know? That's offsets.c. Let's add 12 here. Define the structures for 12. Add this here. 12. 12. How do you feel working on Atmosphere? I mean, Atmosphere is my big labor of love. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff about working on Atmosphere that I don't love doing. But overall, it's what I love. I love the OS. I love working on it. It makes me happy to do this stuff. If it didn't make me happy, I wouldn't be doing it. How much memory is allocated for the video buffer? If you enable recording by force, it's automatic, and it'll be 60 megabytes. But it's stolen from the application, so it doesn't really matter. Like, worst case scenario, you just can't record a game because it doesn't work if you have 60 fewer megabytes, and that sucks. But there's nothing you could have done there in the first place. So I'm not going to stress about that in any capacity. Okay, I think that should be good. But then I need to check this for the exFAT firm. Do that, I'll need to go to exFAT firmware and extract it. It would be. Back tool, T-X1, H2, extracting 1. I don't need to save the JSON, right? Okay. Man, fuck, my arm hurts. Okay. New. Oh, nice. It's 1337 kilobytes. I like when I see good numbers like that. I wonder if they're planning on expanding application Apple pools to feature sys module code usage. We already steal a bunch of memory for homebrew, so it doesn't really matter either way, right? Like, fundamentally, we are no longer constrained to use Nintendo's pools, except insofar as they actually depend on them. And I'm not worried about it. We'll figure it out in the worst case. I'll come up with something stupid, even in like the very, very worst cases. Okay, that's the same. Great. That's the same. Great. That's the same. Great. These are going to be the same, I think. Cool. It's the same. RTLD will be the same. I'm not even going to check it. This is correct. Great. These, I think, will be correct. Yeah, like I said, this is just so much less work to do the MEMC stuff now. This will be the same, I expect. Yep, that's correct. That'll be correct. There's just no point in checking most of this. What are your thoughts on the Gen 4 remakes? They look like Unity games. They look a lot like Unity games. You know, I actually kind of bet that they are Unity games. I'm excited for them. I mean, I loved Diamond and Pearl. I'm sure that I'll like them, but they look like Unity games. 2E DBO. Okay, looks like there's an offset at E1000 here. I bet that's the case for all of this. So I'm wondering why you weren't putting out your usual 2,000 commits per day for the past week or so. For the last couple of weeks, I was busy with work for a little bit, and then for the last week in particular, The Binding of Isaac Repentance came out, and I have spent the vast majority of my time since it released playing it. I've made a lot of progress. I completed the new. Actually, I probably shouldn't give spoilers to a game that people might play here, but I've made a lot of progress in it, and I've spent a lot of time playing it. You know, I was busy with work for a couple weeks, and now I've been busy with Isaac. But you know, new firmware out. New firmware takes priority over everything else in my life. That's not true. It takes priority over all my other hobbies is a better way to put it. Okay. Let's go here. 7000B. Why Atmosphere isn't compatible with the Switch V2? Atmosphere is compatible with the Switch V2. You just need an exploit to run it, and there's no exploit. Right? Like, It works on Mariko units if you can run it, but you can't run it because there's no exploit. And it's because Nintendo's written secure software, and like the new Switch is just literally secure. There's just nothing really to say there. It's just secure. Man, I feel like when you don't remember which is which. This will be the NAND because it has it's 600 I think, and it has this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is the active partition. Is this? Yeah. No. This is totally just add 0x1000. I bet this is 462. It is great. And what about this? 46. No. Okay, so this is the game card. Is 200. I should remember that when I'm doing no GC. 4B388. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. And the dash handle. I think I already updated that. Yeah, cool. That is that. Any interesting discoveries so far? Yeah, there's like a new IPC protocol. There's a lot of stuff that I need to do. This is my to-do list for 12.0.0 support. It's a lot of stuff. And I'm kind of sick right now, actually. Colorful Monk, I got the second shot of the Pfizer vaccine this morning, and it is like actually kind of fucking me. I'll be better in a few days probably, but I am a little less than in top shape right now because of it. Nice, that's awesome to hear. I'm always really glad when people get into reversing and learning assembly from the stuff that I do. That is like the dream goal, is to get people into stuff. Okay, so I think that's MEMC updated. Let me just check that though. If I do a make clean and then a make J16, actually, how many CPUs do I even have allocated to Control Shift Escape? Allocated to the VM. Is it 16? Yeah, it's 16. Okay, cool. So I can do make J16 and that'll do well. Okay. It built, so I assume it's fine. Git push. Okay, that's that, and then we should check off that because that's done now. Yeah. And then we want to update the new NoGC patches. Yeah, no, it's a very big update. It's funny, right? Because like their fucking changelog. Their changelog is just like, oh yeah, guys, we fixed an issue with the save data backup feature. And that's the only thing in their changelog. And meanwhile, it's like, oh yeah, we implemented a new IPC protocol. There are enormous kernel changes. Like, who is writing these changelogs and why are they not paying them enough? Okay, but I should do the NoGC patches now. And then NoGC patches are pretty simple. So this is usually pretty easy. They didn't even include the stability meme. Like they did not include the stability meme, which is surprising to me. Yeah, it's in common, isn't it? Get patches, NoGC. I don't actually remember what the hash is for just like 11, so let's just SHA-256 that, and it's E399, E399. Okay, let's look at the old patch. Have I updated these patches on stream before? I must have, but either way, you'll get to see me do it now, and it's always very funny. So this is an IPS patch. If you're not familiar with the IPS patch formula, there's a 5-byte header, and then IPS alternates. 3 bytes offset, 2 bytes data length, and then data. 3 bytes offset, 2 bytes data length, however long data, and it ends when it finds the 3-byte offset of EOF. And yes, this does in fact mean that you cannot patch. It means that you cannot apply a patch to offset 0x45, 4f, 46 in a file using IPS. You can fix it sometimes. You couldn't use any themes in AMS. I don't do custom theme stuff. You can use custom themes in Atmosphere 18.1. You just need to update it for whatever the QLaunch stuff is. Of course I make IPS patches by hand. Why would I not make... Why the fuck would I do IPS patches any way other than by hand? This format is designed for you to write by hand in a hex editor, so that's how I do it. Anyway. People are crazy. 7100156EB9. Oh yeah, there's an offset of 0x100 when doing Atmosphere patches because reasons, don't worry about it. Right, and it's always the middle byte of this move instruction that gets patched. The offsets are relative to the start of the kip file. Like, the way that I apply patches is I uncompress the kip file, and yeah. 6 patches, you can't test them. Yeah, you know, I can't test my patches either. You deal with it. Deal. Cope. You'll get to patch them when stuff is ready. You'll get to test them when stuff is ready. Yeah, okay. It's the same thing where it's 155368 here. Okay, so let's make a new file. And here we are going to be changing 155469 because it changes byte 2 of an instruction. Like this patch, I don't know who first wrote this, but they are patching byte 1 of an instruction and only byte 1 of an instruction. And it's like, what were you smoking when you wrote this? There's no overheads including the whole instruction change. But I also don't care enough to like figure out what they're actually doing, and so I just copy it wholesale every time. 1398B4. Okay, that can't be right. Oh, it's because I have the wrong thing open. I needed to go to 11. Oh yeah, it's this function. This function. This is like some function that does this stuff. Hey Hedgeberg. Per previous discussions, I was at like a 4 or a 4.5 earlier, and I'm at like a 5.5 at the moment. I'm not going to be doing this too much longer. It's like very nearly I'm too tired. Dude, Weedle now. I know, right? Dude, that fucking biohacker guy. Yes, Hedgeberg? Yes, Hedgeberg? Hey, Werewolf. Yes, you said my name twice. Dude. Dude, Weed Lamau. I know, right? Dude, Weed Lamau. Do a lot of Humber register services? Yeah, I'm unclear on that point, actually. That's not really a me question at the end of the day. Is this the same function? Is it? It might just be because I haven't, like, made something no return. Yes, here then equal 29. It's probably the same function. I bet it's the same function. It looks like it's the same function. It's definitely the same function. Okay, here we are. Good enough for me. 139. Really? Oh wait, I was copying the offset from 11. I was gonna say, is it really the same offset? No. Okay. I'll go to sleep soon. Have fun with your dishes. 13EB24. Okay. And that'll be that. Okay, and then we get the SHA-256 hash of this. Let's just check some SHA-256. And we save it. .ips. And then I should also copy in the xfed firm kip. This is fs12 xfat. Like these patches just take no time because they're so simple. And we already know .text is the same for xfat versus non-xfat from when we were doing the other thing. So we actually just literally save as, and then we copy in the new SHA-256. And that's that. Can you, I mean, you probably could do those things. I mean, I have no interest in doing those things, so, you know, if you were a child. Update no GC patches. And implement new kernel patches for man in the middle support. Man, have I ever done this on stream? I almost never do this on stream because it's like the way that I do it is this enormous fucking hack. I guess we're doing it. I guess I said I'd do it, so we'll do it. Let me get the 11.0.0 kernel open because I think I have an IDB here. Yeah, okay, we're fine. Okay, obviously I want to very much in this database because I haven't done any real labeling, but it's fine. I know the kernel. If there's one code base that I know completely 100% by heart, it is the kernel. Fuse secondary, source, kernel patches. You know, there's a part of me that wants to just say, you know, if you had asked me in like 2018 or 2019, Misan, it would have been the secure monitor. But I know the kernel better by this point. Like the kernel, I have spent so much time on the kernel. This is my big file. The way we do this is we start by copy pasting this kernel patch thing, and we do a 1200. And then I, you know, paste 1200 in all of these, and I need to actually write the patches, but they're usually pretty simple. Then, you know, I make a new thing here for 12.0.0. Gonna need to get the hash of the kernel, so let me go to 819 and do that. X out, and then I go to kernel.bin. And I was starting at 1C4 before. Is that the right place to start still? It probably is. Yeah, it looks like it. Because this is an infinite loop instruction right here. And I'll check that. I will do the proper thing where I'm like actually responsible and, you know, I check that I'm not bullshitting. So we go to documents, this updates 11.819, NX, out, kernel. It should be 1C4 though. Yeah. 1C4, and then the hash size is going to be 69. I forgot that it was 69,000. I forgot that it was 420 kilobytes. God, that's funny. But yeah, no, the only thing that really changed here is like the actual offset values and some like kernel loader stuff. So this will actually mostly be the same, although the size will be different. So like if I go here, 69,000 comes from where the ini is. So if I like search for ini1, it's at 68,000 here. Interesting. Was I hashing the first part of the ini here? Oh, wait, no, that's the 12.0 binary. If I search here, it'll be at 69,000. Okay, so it's 68,000 now. 68,000, 68,000. And then I need to get the SHA-256 hash of the kernel. So to do that, I will go to 1C4. I will highlight until 68,000. Then I'll remove that last byte, and then I will get the hash, and then move this up here. I will convert this into a form where it's usable and copyable. And then I'll copy it in. Okay, and then the free space offset is like just where does text end. Let's do that. I will just, you know, scroll over to the end of text, and it looks like it is 48.810 this time. 48.810. Nice. That's some good savings in code size that they've gotten. Always happy to see that. Okay, so that's the actual kernel patch set definition. And then I need to like actually write all these patches now. These patches are always very simple. And so the patch offset here was 2FD04. 8008FD04. Which is, oh, I guess I had it open here for control code memory. And we did do the SVCs and labels, so SVC control code memory 64. I can go to control code memory 64, control code memory. And it will be this check where it's checking whether or not the process is the current process. And we patch it, yeah, it's right here. We patch it to allow you to use your own process for JIT, because it's, you know, really convenient to do JIT this way. 8FD04. Oh, is this different in 11.0.1 versus 11.0.0? Yeah, okay, it's actually, I should be looking at these when I'm doing this, so I'm diffing based on 11 and not 11.01. Yeah, whoops. I'll copy that in again. I guess where's 2FCEO? And yeah, okay, that's this branch if equal instruction here. So this branch if equal is at 2FCB4. 2FCB4. And then the system memory increase patch is kind of interesting. It is 49OC4. A9OC4. How high is the ban risk with AMS with piracy? There are 0 reported bans of atmosphere without piracy. Like, it doesn't, unless you cheat online. If you cheat online, it could happen. But otherwise, I mean, it's just not an issue. I go online with like development atmosphere literally every day, and it's just not a problem. Is this the same thing? Oh yeah, it is, and that's cases of going in memory mode, and it's the same register. Excellent. So I can just copy the patch wholesale. It's 4809C this time. 4809C. Okay, and then these two are dynamic patches. So I have to like do this super crazy way by hand. You'll get to see me do it. It's so fucking nuts the way that I do it. 1200. There we go. 1200. Make not. Okay, so those are those two. Is the error log clearing name? They actually did ban for that, like right when Fuse came out. They banned people who used NXD report, but they haven't banned for that like ever since, basically. Yeah, I mean, obviously cheating online won't guarantee you a ban, but like there are confirmed bans for cheating online. So I avoid not cheating online. Right, like I'm not going to say you're going to get banned if you do it, but there are recorded cases of them banning for it. So it's up to your personal risk tolerance. Like how much GME do you want to buy? But okay, let's copy paste this. And then there's this, which is like the pattern for finding it, which, you know, I should have a better way of doing this at this point, but I never remember which one is sent and which one is received. Or you should avoid cheating online. Don't cheat online. Sorry, again, I'm kind of out of it a little bit. Don't cheat online. Cheating's not cool. Cheating's very cool. I highly recommend cheating, but I don't recommend cheating online. I don't know, man. I can't give you like perfect instructions on what you should or shouldn't do. I can only tell you that they ban if you cheat in online games sometimes. They have banned in the past for it. Really? No matches there? Oh, is this like, did I copy 1101? No. Huh. Oh, I see what happens. I just copied the wrong thing. I didn't actually copy this. Okay, I want to search for this pattern. And I should verify that there's only one hit. Now, are there two hits? Oh, right, because they like share a prefix, this and the other one. Okay, I just need more bytes. I'll just copy this whole thing. It's fine. Yeah, just don't be a dick, basically. Right, like, I'm gonna tell you not to cheat because you shouldn't, but like, you know, if you are comfortable accepting the possibility that you'll be banned, do whatever you want. I'm not your dad. That's not a fan speed. That's like, actually, that might be like a train or something outside. My fan is going at the same speed that it's been going at. Okay. We're not going to be lucky enough that this is just going to be a match. I know that, but I'm still going to do it. Yeah. Figures. Okay, so I forget if this is... fuck, I need to close these kips because they're just open windows that I don't need in my life. I'm done with them. I have no idea what Syspot does. Okay, I think this is... Is this receive request? Okay, yes, that'll be in reply and receive. Reply and receive is really interesting because it's like both of the calls, but receive request is the one on the bottom, right? Because send reply is up top, I think. It's somewhere here. Oh yeah, it's right there. But okay, let me go to SVC reply and receive 64. Yeah. And then it should be, I think, like right here. Should be the one that I'm looking for. Yeah, it is. Cool. So welcome to you know, the most complicated function in the kernel, kserver session receive request. It's very long. Very, very long. Although it looks like they've reduced it some, so you know, good for them. Although that might just be more stuff being uninlined because they're like compiling with OS now. Huh, I wonder if that's like a car outside. Or a bus or something. Maybe they could use some of their... No, they do not reply and... They use reply and receive, but it's... No, they don't reply and receive in one syscall. It's still two syscalls. It's very dumb. Don't worry. They're still doing the bad thing, not the good thing. They're still not saving the syscall that they could be saving. But okay, the way that I find this is like if I actually go to the spot that is the spot in this function that I'm searching for. It's where they copy the stuff. It's where they copy the PID. Is 12.0 a major update? It is a major update. Yes. They use semantic versioning. But there's probably a better way to do this, but I just, you know, why not? Control F the text for @1EO. Nice, is that it? No, it's the other one, I think. Oh no, it is totally right here. This is a K-auto object, and what they're doing here is, you know, set the, if the request process ID flag is set the value to the current process ID. In our patch, this is a really complicated way of copying in a specified value instead of the true one. Doesn't really matter, but it's like right here. Fuck, why do I always lose it? Okay, yeah, it's right after this mem copy. What you were about to watch is really bad, and I apologize in advance. This is a mem copy on the 12.0 kernel. But okay. So we're right here, and oh god, this is gonna be disgusting. The first thing to do is to figure out the pattern that identifies this uniquely. And it's usually, how many instructions is this? I'm selecting 83 characters. Jeez, okay. What if I just do this? 56 characters, 2 characters to a byte is 28 bytes, so that's 0x1c bytes. Okay. So that's 7 instructions from here. So hex view. Copy this. 7 instructions is easy because I just copy this. then we replace spaces with comma space 0x, and now I copy paste that in. Our new one is going to be 12.0 now, and here is our pattern for it. And this is just some handcrafted assembly that I wrote a really long time ago. But it'll be fine. The thing that I need to do is I need to find all of these offsets within the function for like what everything is, right? Because here it is x24 that they are loading some value relative to. And so all this that is x24 I need to replace with the correct value. And now it is x28 here is storing the current process pointer. So here's the current process. And then the big question is 0xEO. I need to locate the like stored process ID value. He said too, I'm updating some kernel patches for the new kernel. I'm updating my custom firmware for the Nintendo Switch to support the new update. I basically just need to find the stack offset and then like put the correct value in. And this stack value is like really weird to find, but you can kind of find it down here. It'll be 0xDO because there's a subtraction. Man, where do I want to find this? Right, because it's fundamentally where they are going to be copying from is, I mean, I know it's like the IPC buffer plus 0xC, but I attempt to get it from the correct place. I think it's like here, basically. V49 is V203, and this is like within the 0x20 block. This is the right variable, and yeah, it's 220 minus 150. 0x220 minus 0x150. This should be DO if I'm right. Yeah, okay. So I need to do the same thing here. Where this is, you know, like if 1e is 0. Man, this looks kind of different actually. Well, no, it's not different. It's just being inlined differently in a way that's vaguely annoying. So they read the handle from the to message, and they check if it is. They check the thing. They check if it is this like pseudo handle. So how do I want to do this then? If they are like changing stuff around, where are they even doing the pseudo handle check here? I'm not seeing it. I am not seeing it. Is this send reply and not is this send reply and not receive request? It could be, but no, I think this is going to be send reply. It'd be pretty funny if I mixed up the functions. But that doesn't make very much sense, right? Because they have to send the reply before they receive the request, and they do this one first. This kind of has to be send reply. Let me just check this. Yeah, no x1EO, no x1EO. Man, that's annoying. It's yeah, okay, it's here. Okay, so I think we were looking in the right place earlier, but. Good night, Turtle. Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep after I finish up doing these patches anyway. I'm also tired, and I'm sick. Like, really, I shouldn't be doing this in the first place. But, you know, that's me. V42 is V91, and they're doing V41, accessing it relative to that. Right, because V191, this is the destination buffer, and I care about the source buffer. So where are they setting this? V191 is... V21, yeah, sure, okay. What I want to do is I want to find where they are dereferencing this handle. So where are they doing that? Let's assume that they don't have any copy handles, and so we're only caring about move handles. Very strange. Where do they read? Where do they compare the handles though? Like, where are they checking for pseudo handles? At a certain level, they have to be. Yeah. Let's search for this. 8 MSL 12 because it'll have to be that way, pretty much. Interesting that this has been like sidelined so hard. It's clearly the same thing, it's just way further down, but it's been restructured. But okay. This is V189 at V90. This is V257. That's so annoying. Okay, I need to find another way to find a reference to the from buffer. So how do I want to do that? How do I want to do that? I think it's possible Nintendo patch an exploit under the hood. It's always possible that they patch exploits under the hood. I don't have any particular reason to think that they've done that this time, though. Okay, where's something that uses the from buffer? Like, where's the from buffer even being set here? Yeah. But where are they reading the special header? V29, V27, which is being right here. Okay, it is, right, I was not actually labeling it. It's right after they get the from one. V193 is the virtual address, and then, where they actually set V193 or use it? Are they even using it? I guess if it's TLS, they don't need to. V193 plus 4 times X. Yeah, okay. So they are using it, but only for that stuff. Where is it getting set, though? Like, this V29 is V27, V26. Oh, right. They convert it linear to... They convert a physical to linear. And they said V203 is V26 here. Okay. So now we just need to do the equivalent. Yeah, it's not that weird, right? Like, if they have the update done, why not? Sure, if we have that. This is the linear physical to virtual offset. This is, do we have a from user buffer? Okay, so V26 is still what we care about. V187 is V26. V187 is what we care about. Where is it? It is, are you fucking kidding me? Is it the same fucking stack offset? Really? I spent all of that time and it's at the same offset? God damn it. Okay, whatever. ARMconverter.com. Okay, so now we copy paste this in. Then OVA web. That was a lot of effort only to find out that I didn't need to do anything. ARM, or actually ARC64 to verify it. Yes, the issue with this is that it does a hard-coded branch to 0x20. So ARMconverter.com used to do a relative branch here. And I want it to do a actual branch. It's actually very annoying. Because I want it to do like plus 0x20, but it no longer supports relative branches. Super irritating. And 0x20 from this point would be 0x4c. Which, yeah, makes sense, right? Because we want to skip over the part where we loaded this. And x0, I think, already contains the right value if we skip over this. So we want to actually branch to 0x4c. And this, then we check this. And that looks a lot better, I think. I have spacing here to remind me if that's the other thing. Yeah, because I'm skipping these instructions. Okay, so now we take this. I forget, do I need to... Yeah, I need to like do this with... I need to do in GDB, LLDB form, and I need to do OXs. And that gets it in the form that I actually use it in. Here. Then we add commas. Then we replace new lines with spaces. And that is that first patch. Okay. And then we need to also do the send one, which is, its own thing. $1,200. Okay, back to where we were. I could do the like search for the pattern, but I think I'll actually just go to send reply here. And then I'll just search for at 0x lineal. I guess it's at 0x1, isn't it? For the actual thing that I want. There it is. At 1. Okay. Is teammate 2 ready? No. Teammate 2 is still like a couple months away from being ready. It'll be a while. So try not to be too impatient. Okay, this will be send reply, and then we do, you know, an at 1. At 1e. And I have no idea why it's not hitting this at 1, but this is what we care about. Is it what we care about? Yeah, it is. Okay. So it's again, it's going to be this like load x8 from x22 thing that I do relative to. And it is 7 instructions that I copy. Good night. See you instead of 2. Do this. And then copy another. I need 6 more instructions. Or 5 more instructions to get to 7. And then another instruction. Okay, and then we do this with OX. That makes sense. That explains it. I never noticed that about hex arrays before, but I suppose it must be right. Huh, am I doing it relative to a different thing? Really? Am I doing it relative to something other than the load for this unpatch? Because that is remarkably more different than should be. Oh, it looks like I have an off by 1 here in terms of where I start the instruction that I'm looking at. So why is that? Why am I starting relative to whatever this is here? EO315AI. What is that in hex here? Oh, it's this move x0, isn't it? It is, okay. So let's do the same thing here then. Let's be consistent. Three instructions, 4 instructions. There we go. That looks a lot more correct. And then it looks like it's x22 instead of x21, which is easy enough. Yeah, it's x22 instead of x21. X22 instead of x21. And then what the fuck am I doing here? It looks like I'm loading the offset. Oh, right, now I remember. It was really, yeah, I write my code in C++. I write basically all C++. They did some really weird thing in 11 where I like couldn't find a correct stack relative offset. And so I just hard-coded it as like less than 0xc. But it was actually, like, the issue was fundamentally, I didn't need to do this, although it's easier. Anyway. Let us find, I bet it's still an OX80, isn't it? I bet I'm going to find the same thing as before if I go here. Where, like, this is stuff where it's like finding the handle. What I wanted was I want to find the like physical address translation function, don't I? Yeah, if v14 we do this, otherwise it's that. Otherwise it's this. Man, this is kind of a mess without my symbols. But I also don't want to get my symbols, so what is my solution here? Yeah, let's go back to where we were before in the old function. Let's go here. What is the actual physical? Okay, so this is linear vertiphys is this value. So then we will go back to send, and we will find where it's being applied. It's being applied here, and it's being applied here. And I am pretty confident that A4 is the receive buffer and not the send buffer because it's kernel code. Or this is server code, not kernel code. And so I really think it should be this. I think it should be this. So V18 is this, and that looks right. That looks right. V265 is V18. I bet it's at OX80. Is it not? Okay. Let's double check this then. It's at OX88, I guess, which, you know, fair enough. Although, that actually becomes 98, I think. Yeah, that becomes 98 because there's an additional OX10 here that I take into account. Since I've just subtracted the stack pointer by 0x10 as part of my shell code. I think that's right. Let me just double check that in 10 to make sure that I am being sane. Linear, just divert. Yeah, V17 is the one that I care about. And this has, you know, like a V302, which is 8A. Okay, yeah, this was 0x70, but this is the same thing. Okay, great. Then I think I just need to convert this patch now. Thank you, ARM converter. And I'll make this 4C again, because it's absolute now for no reason. Oh, right. I also need to remove these so that I can disassemble it. 4C. Yep. Okay. Cool. Do this again. Get rid of these. And /10 becomes comma space. Okay. That will be the kernel patches. Pretty straightforward, but you can probably see what I mean when I say that it's just like a bunch of stuff that I do by memory, because I've done it so many times. Okay. Yeah, it's 12 send, 12 receive. Okay. Okay. I am still feeling pretty poorly from this vaccine, and I am tired, and I should sleep so that I heal and don't, like, have my condition get worse. I haven't looked into the FS changes at all, bylaws. You'll need to ask probably Moose Hunter for that. He does FS stuff much more than I do these days. Yes, it is time for me to go sleep because I'm kind of sick. But I hope that this has been, vaguely enjoyable. I am hoping that despite my being kind of sick and not being able to do the really interesting reversing work, that it has been interesting nonetheless. Good night. Glad you enjoyed Tuesday. It makes me happy to hear that you in particular have enjoyed it. Good night.